What's up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of According to Blake. You know, my favorite episodes are when I get to just chit-chat with my friends. I don't come with notes. I don't come with anything because I know them. So I'm going to dig into all their business. So today, we have the girl that I know you guys all follow. You follow her for the fits. You follow her for the beats. She's always on the right side of history with the hot takes.
Period.
The Simi Moonlight.
Hello.
Thank you for coming, sister.
Of course, sister.
I know we've had long weekends, so
I know, child.
getting here was But we're here.
We got here.
I feel like I've been asking all Black women right now,
Okay.
especially with everything that's been going on. Just starting off
Okay.
with like, how are you?
Oh, child. I feel generally really good.
Okay.
I feel like I feel happier than usual in my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely do have an air of exhaustion, maybe a little bit on the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into the personal life.
Yeah.
Well, what you share, what you choose to share. But I do want to give the girls backgrounds because I do think that a lot of people see content creators and for some, it was just they started content creating and that's always been their life.
Yeah.
But you're a former corporate girly.
Yes, I am.
So can you give a little bit of background on what you did professionally before you transferred into content creation?
Yeah. So before I went to content creation, I was working in comms and marketing. Before I was at any corporate job, I actually was working for myself. I was doing like social media marketing consulting for different brands in Atlanta specifically. And then I started working as a contractor with Afropunk, which is like my first like big gig. And then after that, I started working at Red Bull, and that's how I ended up in New York. They moved me here.
Well, that was my next question. So
Yeah.
Atlanta or New York? I know what you're gonna say, but Atlanta or New York? Like
New
what
York.
what was Atlanta Simi like?
New York. Atlanta Simi was definitely definitely more free, I'll say. And when I say free, I mean I was outside. Okay. But that was because I just had more like less perception of me, I guess, if that makes sense. Like people knew who I was, but I was not at all in the same place on social media that I am now. So it was way different. I felt like I could just do whatever I wanted to do, and I did for the most part.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I was so energized to kind of try everything I wanted to try, and I did. So, and then I moved to New York, and I think because of COVID, like things kind of shifted in terms of being online, and that's when things really started to take off for me online. So I feel as though perception of me started to grow a lot more, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know y'all was gonna be here. Yeah, what's going on? So yeah.
So at what point was the turning point when you were like, I can leave my corporate job? Because I think a lot of people when people come to me all the time, they're like, I want to jump shit, but you have to know.
Yeah. So I worked my corporate job. So after I left Red Bull, because Red Bull, they had like a big restructuring, and they basically laid me off, but they wanted me to like reapply to other jobs in California, and I was like, so sorry, can't do that. No. Because I had just moved to New York. I was like, that wouldn't even make any sense. But I did try, but it just didn't work out. So I actually went to a startup company, and I was working there as head of marketing. And that was like a role I was really passionate about because I was like, I'm going to be building this marketing department from the ground up.
Yep.
I felt really good about the company and like their objectives and their goals. So I really was trying to balance the both of them. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I want to say Fashion Week, September of 2022.
Okay.
2022. I just could not juggle both of them. I was actually so stressed out. I was like, oh my gosh, I am coming home from Fashion Week events at midnight, 1 a.m., having to wake up and be ready for work at 9, really 8:30. And even though it was remote, it was just so much pressure because I was in charge of everything in my department. And then we were in the middle of hiring someone, and it was a lot going on. So it just got to the point where I felt as though I had to make a choice, and I banked on myself. And it was funny because my manager at the time, she was like, I thought you been quit your job. And I was like, no, girl. She was like, oh, well, quit your job.
You were churning out content.
Yeah. She was like, you can quit your job. So I was like, okay.
And so you quit.
Yeah.
And now you are an African woman.
Yes.
And you've been outspoken about the fact that your parents were like, what the fuck is content creation?
Yeah. Till this day, they don't be knowing what I be doing.
So what, did you
like,
have
girl,
that conversation or you just did it?
No, I just did it. I mean, but I do what I want, though. I'm not the same. I feel like I have a very unique experience when it comes to being an African child. I really do what I want. So,
would you describe your content as that now too? I know that you said earlier, right? You were like in Atlanta, I did what I want, but now you're more perceived. But I feel like even now, your content pushes the envelope of what they say.
Yeah,
a traditional content creator or influencer should be.
Yeah. I think, with my content, definitely, I would say I do that. I think for a long time, I did struggle with that. I think sometimes I do feel as though I'm a little bit of an outlier. I think especially when you're a Black woman, it feels as though you have no option but to put yourself in that box. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be the beauty girl, the fashion girl, or the lifestyle girl, or you just have to be like a socialite type of person, which I think I am all of those things, but I also have opinions and I have a voice and I have ideas and thoughts that might not fit within the status quo all the time. So I think I'm getting more comfortable with pushing the envelope more than I usually do.
In 2022, let's say 2020 to 2022, were you doing that same thing with your content, or has this been a slow progression of you getting comfortable?
I think it's been a slow progression of me getting comfortable. I think 2022 to really like now, honestly, but I think the biggest shift for me was 2023, 2024. Those I think were the biggest shifts for me in terms of feeling like I was kind of like in a box. I think especially when you get popular for doing a specific type of content, everyone loves me for the fashion content, which I really love. But that was never the goal for my content. Okay. Like I never came into this being like, oh, I want to be a fashion content creator, because there's things that I think fashion content creators do that I just don't do. Like I'm never going to do like hauls all the time. Like that's just not my, it's just not my thing. Like I'm not the type of girl who's going to like be shopping on Amazon and like finding stuff for people to wear. Like that's just not my thing. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But I think because I didn't have the goal of being a fashion content creator, the way that I approach it is a lot different than most. And now when I want to pivot, I feel a lot more comfortable now, but in the past, I didn't feel as comfortable.
You didn't know if you could pivot.
No.
And I think too, was there a pressure too around you've always been a curvy girl.
Yes.
And you've always been open about that and not even dressing for that, but you gave curvy girls like, you can wear whatever the hell you want.
For sure.
Did that pressure change? Were you like, I can't pivot here because there's this community of women who?
I think I'm dealing with that feeling now, if that makes sense.
No, that was my follow-up. So.
Yeah, because I think back in 2022, 2023, even 2024, I was at a much heavier weight than I am now. And I think simply just by like me getting back in the gym, me kind of like having the mental bandwidth to actually take care of myself the way I want to, my shape and my size has changed. And I mean, I think for the rest of my life, I'm always going to be considered plus size. I don't have the intention or the goal of ever being like skinny, you know what I'm saying? But I think because how my size is changing, how people are looking at me in the fashion world is also changing. And that is like an interesting thing that I really haven't had a chance to like flesh out in my brain yet. But it's something I've definitely thought about.
Have people commented about it?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Yeah. People comment on my body all the time. All the time. Every video that I make, I mean, there's going to be like at least one. Most likely more, but like at least one. And it's not, I think to me, it's not negative, right? But it's still like, I just have this rule where I don't like to comment on people's bodies. Like I really try not to, even if it is a compliment, because I don't want that to be like the status quo of how I'm complimenting someone. But But I know other people don't have that same standard, which is fine. So I think I'm not too strict about it, but there's definitely always comments for sure.
But I think too, we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Right? The shift when plus size creators do lose weight.
Yeah.
And how the audience shifts and how the things shift. So how do you balance both that with also the fact of like, guys, you've told me I'm not in the gym to lose weight. I'm not eating healthy to lose weight. I'm doing it to take care of self.
Baby, my A1C was very high, okay? Like I had to do something about that. I had to do something about that. Like my doctor was like, baby, I don't know what you thought was going on, but you gotta get that in check. And I was like, and I love my doctor because she was never about like, you have to lose weight to get it in check. Correct. She was like, hey, here's some things that you can do. Like start walking after your meals, start making sure that, you know, if you want to take some certain supplements to help with your blood sugar levels, you can do that. Mm-hmm. Like, so I was like, okay, cool. I'll just do that. And then naturally, I think the side effect is going to be weight loss.
Correct.
So I'm like, yeah, that just ended up happening that way.
But it doesn't scare you.
No, I think I've never been a person who, you know, I think where the social media girlies sometimes get stuck is they will portray themselves as a specific type of creator. And I think I've always been very anti that. Like I've never come online and been like, I'm a plus size creator. Right. I'm a plus size fashion girl. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
you pigeonhole yourself in that.
Like I'm a girl who likes clothes. Mm-hmm. I'm never even gonna call myself a fashion girl. Like I'm a girl who likes clothes. You know what I'm saying? I like to put clothes together. I like to style myself. I like to look nice. And my body is my body. Mm-hmm. You know, whether it's thin or it's bigger, like that's just what I'm dressing at the moment, you know? And I think sometimes people feel as though in order to garner an audience, they have to pigeon themselves into a specific space. And you really don't have to, you know? But I think, I don't know, the girlies get stuck there sometimes, I think.
Would you describe your approach to your body as body neutrality versus body positivity?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think, you know, I actually had a really great panel discussion with Black Beauty Club about this, and we were all talking about body neutrality, body versus body positivity. And I genuinely do think body neutrality is the way to go. Yeah. I think a lot of times people want to commit to body positivity because that's what it sounds good. You know, that's the status quo. It sounds good. But in reality, I think that we need to be more like just neutral about how we feel about our bodies. Like a body is a body. Like that's just it. A body is a body is a body. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times it really doesn't have as much of an emphasis unless you make it have that emphasis. And people don't realize that. And I think that's why they end up obsessing over it, because they're like, oh, I need to be body positive. So I need to talk about my body in a positive way all the time. Yep. When it's like, you actually just don't have to talk about your body. Yeah. Like you just don't. You know?
And in the not thinking about it, you can almost tell too in the way that you dress.
Yeah.
You wear whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your style?
Ooh. I would say I'm definitely a maximalist in the sense that I really enjoy lots of layers. I don't have a lot of jewelry on today, but because I woke up very late. Usually I do. But I enjoy a lot of jewelry. I enjoy a lot of layers. Like I think fall, winter times are my usual favorite times to get dressed.
That's crazy because I love summer Simi.
I know, which is interesting. I used to hate summer. I used to hate summer me, but I actually really like summer me now too. But I think I would say I'm a maximalist. I would say that I am colorful. I don't know if I have a specific word to put all of that into, but definitely colorful, definitely maximalist, definitely chic when I want to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I think I'm everything everywhere all at once type of thing. Yeah.
Just like a Black woman.
Yeah. Like I just do what I want to do.
And shifting gears, because of course, people go to you for the fashion content, but you are a yapper.
I am a yapper.
On socials, both on live, both in videos. Yes. And one of the things that you have been open about is dating.
Yes.
In the capacity of a way that is not centering men.
Yes.
But you've also been open about the fact that you recently went through a pretty traumatic breakup.
A divorce.
It gives divorce.
It was a divorce.
Based on what you can share.
Yes.
what were your biggest takeaways from your last relationship? And how are you applying it in the way that you date or don't date? The way that you approach men and love in general now.
Okay. I would say that my biggest takeaway is to not lose yourself in a relationship. I think I definitely lost my favorite parts of myself in my last serious relationship because I was so hyper focused on maintaining it, you know? I think also when you're someone like me, I mean, I know a lot of the girlies are very like relationship forward, which is definitely okay. But I've actually never been that way. Like I've never been the person to wake up and be like, I dream about being in a relationship.
Oh, I know. Because when I say I can't wait to be a mom and a wife, you're like, oh,
I'm like, oh, sister.
That's
but
crazy.
no, but it's no shade to the girls that do because I think that is a completely normal desire to have, you know? If anything, I think maybe how I feel is a little abnormal, which is fine. But I think for me, I've just never been that person to wake up and dream about those things. Like I'm more so like thinking about myself and like my family and like, you know, my close friends and I'm like, if romance happens, it happens and that's cool.
So with that attitude, then how did you then end up though the girl that was losing herself in a relationship?
Right. Because I think there was a lot of transitions happening in my life at that time. So I was just moving to New York for this new fancy corporate job. It was my first like big girl job and I was like, oh snap, like they hired me, that's crazy. And I really wanted to make a good impression. And then like I was living in this really nice fancy apartment in Williamsburg. Like I felt like a true adult, you know what I'm saying? And then COVID happened and I feel like it kind of shifted all of us to look inward or like focus on really intimate personal relationships. And, you know, it was funny because I was like on the apps for a kiki. Like I was like, oh my God, like I was looking at like my little Sims game. Like I was like, oh my God, let me check on my Sims today. Like what are they doing? Have you eaten today? What's going on? And my ex at the time, my ex was the person who really was like trying to lock in. And I was like, I just felt like it was what I was supposed to do. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, okay, cool. Like I have a job. I have a nice place. Like I'm paying my bills, I'm buying clothes, like I'm doing things. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do, you know, is like be in a committed relationship and like really show up here. And I think, you know, even to go back to your question about like my biggest takeaway, it's like not losing yourself, but then also not listening to your gut. Like I think for me, I wasn't listening to my gut feeling about the relationship. And I kept telling myself like, you just haven't experienced an adult relationship yet. That's why you feel this way. That's why you feel shook and scared and you just don't know what it's supposed to be like.
And you're a Cancer.
Hello. Because once I lock in, I lock
you're a
in.
Cancer.
I lock in, okay? And I really was like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. And I think that's how you start to lose yourself when you basically do things out of duty rather than genuine desire, you know? And I don't think I had the genuine desire to be in that relationship, but I had the duty that was kind of like hanging over me, being like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you be a girlfriend. This is how you become a wife. This is how you become, you know, someone that this person really admires and looks up to and like someone that their family respects and all of those things. And I think I was more so concerned of the look of it all rather than like the feeling of it.
And then when it ended, and you've been open about this on TikTok about like, men become so mean and evil in breakups. And the way in which you all's breakup played out, I think a lot of women would not have been able to bounce back or recover in the way that you have. Like that, it is a situation that many women would have gone into a hole and never come out of.
Yeah, for sure.
So how did you pull yourself out of that hole? And honestly, I think even like you're kind of like better and better to me. Like, loved you before, love you now, but I think there is
unfortunately, my haters will never win.
They will never win. But I think there's a badass energy that it's like, it's just a air that's different about you post breakup.
Yeah, I think, I mean, genuinely, not to make it woo-woo, but I also was going through my Saturn return at the same time that the breakup was happening. And then I got my surgery, and then like my recovery ended up being insane. Yep. So I felt like it was like all of these things were happening in tandem. And baby, that hole I was in, I said, oh my God, I feel like I can't even see the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so rough and just difficult for me to envision what the future could look like. But I think I just had this internal compass that was telling me like, just put one foot. You know what I'm saying? Like every day, just put one foot in front of the other. Every day, just try to have empathy for the people that, can have empathy for you, and try to be understanding of like what they might be thinking or experiencing. But then also make sure you stick up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like empathy doesn't mean that you have to just abide by what someone wants. It means like you can be understanding and also have boundaries, and also decide that you don't want to do this anymore. And I think, I don't want to make it seem like that situation was like, oh, I was like a battered woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was more so that we were just very not compatible. Correct. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, being the person that was really like focused on the duty of it all, the incompatibility was just like looming. Like it was like chasing me, being like, hey girl, like knock, knock, knock. You realize that this person is not for you. Yeah, it's still not working. Like this person is not for you. And I think, once him and I had like this kind of like blowout situation, and I was like, yeah, this actually is just not working. I think that he thought I was gonna just continue forward like how we usually do. And I was like, I think something is telling me not to do that this time. Like, I think I actually need to stop this. Yeah. Like the cycle has to stop. Yep. And it sucked, but like, it is what it is now. I think it's just like, once you're shown what better can be, it never leaves you. And I think I had a moment where I was like, I don't even remember what the moment was, but I was like, I actually know that I can have better, or I can experience better than what I'm experiencing now. And it just kept nagging me until I did something about it. So yeah.
Well, now you're a girl about town. Yeah. And you are dating.
I am.
But you're very open about the fact that you're just dating. Like it's not. Yeah. You're not out here looking for your husband. You're not. Now you are still a Cancer. So you
if
are
I find my husband though. What's up, boo?
No, she's a Cancer. Like, don't let her fool you. She's really a Cancer.
I am.
How are you approaching dating now? Like, what is? What I love about you is Simi. You keep one or two.
Okay. Or like, don't get it twisted. Okay. No, I think how I'm approaching it now. I'm trying to see what I can see when I get into trouble. I think how I'm approaching it now is I'm very, I don't know. Like I actually had a really good conversation about this the other day where I was like, I feel like maybe I have a little dating fatigue where I'm like, I really enjoy the art of dating. Like, I love getting to know someone. I love asking questions. I love someone asking me questions. I love all of like these little curious moments when you're like getting to know someone. But the moment it starts to feel like a responsibility, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
This ain't fun
this is not fun anymore. I'm not having fun. Okay. And I think my main objective right now is to have fun. Yeah. And I don't think that needs to mean being promiscuous or anything like that. I think it can be like, having fun can be like just enjoying the company of someone, doing fun things together, getting to know someone and seeing how you feel about that person. Those are all things that I find to be very fun. I think, shout out to therapy. Like, it's just gonna not take a minute, but I think it's gonna take me a very discerning moment to know whether someone is my person or not. I think I've stopped like chasing that thrill in the beginning that people have where it's like, oh my God, like I just met this person 2 weeks ago, but we know everything about each other and we hang out every single day. We talk every single night.
All the butterflies, all the fireworks.
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
That's actually not a good sign.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay, because a lot of times that's how you ignore the incompatibility.
Correct.
And then you start to think like later down the line, like, actually, I don't know if our lives really mesh in the way that I thought they would mesh. Or like, I don't know if I could bring you around my friends or if you could bring me around your friends. Like, these are all things that end up mattering a lot in the end. So for me, I think I'm actually learning to appreciate the slow burn of it all. I know.
That is so not like a Cancer.
I know. But I'm like, I actually don't want to play house in the first month. I'm sorry, I don't. Like, I don't want to like act as though we're together, even though we're not really together, and we haven't talked about boundaries, and we haven't talked about this, and we haven't talked about that. Like, I actually want us to take the time necessary to get to know each other. Yeah. And see how we feel and like be adults about it. You know, like I think I'm like, I encounter a lot of adults, but I'm like, we're not acting like adults.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing.
Once the emotions start getting involved. And
I'm like, we're not acting like adults. We're actually being big kids right now, you know? And it's like, I don't think.
So what would be your suggestion? Like, where you meet, like, how do you meet men? Like, how do you, like, I think a lot of girls, you have dating fatigue. Some of us ain't dating at all.
I know. Okay. People ask me this question all the time. I haven't been on the apps. I don't use apps anymore.
Do you use Instagram?
I mean, people find me. Like, I'm like,
I know that's right.
And that's not. Because I'm like, said, no, baby. I don't want the girls to be like, oh, she's tooting her own horn. No, it's like, I don't know. I think because I don't put the pressure on myself to find something, it just finds me. And I'm like, I feel like because of that, also, I kind of allow myself to go off of the vibe and how I feel rather than like the check boxes of like, does this person fit this? Are they this? Do they do this? Like, not to say that those things aren't important, but I would rather experience like the joy of getting to know someone and then figuring out the check boxes, because if I want to leave, I can just leave. You know what I'm saying? And then figure out the check boxes later than trying to have someone fit in all the check boxes now and then kind of missing out on the vibe of it all. Like, I feel like for me, what matters most is character and how you make me feel. And also how you make the people around me feel too. Like, if you happen to encounter the people around me, like, how do they feel about you? So yeah, I don't know. I think go outside, y'all. Like, go now, outside.
That is one thing I will give Simi though. Yeah. She's not waiting in the house really for anything. But what I mean is like, Simi knows I'm like the polar opposite. Like, I was just telling her,
she be in the house.
Another one of our friends, I was like, I'm gonna come out with y'all, and they're like, liar. But you do go outside. But how do you maintain it? I guess because I think one of the issues that I've been having, and I tell people, is like the second being outside became my job, I no longer enjoyed it, which is why I don't like going out. Like, I want to be in the house, all those things, contrary to what it looks like on social media. How do you keep your battery charged?
I am in the house during the week.
Got it.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, you know, it's so funny. I was just saying this to my friend. I was saying how I feel as though a lot of content creator girlies, influencer girlies, like, we're experiencing this weird moment when it comes to our social lives and dating, because what I was afraid of actually, like, this time last year was me putting myself in the influencer box where I'm only going to influencer events, I'm only going to influencer dinners, I'm only hanging out with my influencer friends, and I'm not doing anything outside of those things, because all of those moments are kind of taking my energy a lot more than I expect. So then I want to recharge during the weekend, which is kind of my time to be out in the real world, you know? So I think I made a very like heavy shift this year where I was like, I'm only going to go to events that I really want to go to. I don't feel the need to be everywhere all the time. You know, like, I obviously love these brands and I do want to work with them and all these things, but if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. And I'm not going to put myself under too much pressure to like be everywhere all the time, you know?
I think that is all of us. Remember at Madie's brunch, I literally had asked him, I was like, do you have what message do you guys send to brands to tell them I'm not coming?
Yeah. I just,
like, I'm tired.
Yeah. And I think I don't want to miss out on living my real life too. You know, like, not to say that being an influencer is not a real life, but it's like very curated moments where you kind of don't experience a lot of real life experiences in the way that a normal person would.
No, you don't.
Everything is so
You
curated.
don't.
The dinners are perfect. The brands are perfect. The people are perfect. Everything's perfect. And it almost kind of warps your idea and expectations of reality. And I feel like for me, I was like, oh, no. Like, I still want to be rooted in the real world. You know what I'm saying? I can obviously still enjoy these moments with these brands and be very thankful and grateful that I get to enjoy these moments with them. But I also need to save space and time for things that are actually happening and like people that are actually there and like not like these curated experiences and moments, you know. And I think even with dating, like, I think we are very warped with how we think dating is supposed to go and what it's supposed to look like. You know, I think obviously you want to date a man who is going to take care of you and wants the best for you. You know what I'm saying? And wants to ensure that you feel energetically great so that you can make him feel energetically great. It should be an even exchange and even balance, like, between the two of you. However you guys want that to look. But I think when we go on social media, it's like, oh my God, this man bought me a $1 million Porsche. Why didn't you buy me a $1 million Porsche? It's like, babe, like, these
men ain't buying $1 million.
Also, they're not buying $1 million Porsches.
Recession indicator. I was just saying on Saturday, the tricks don't even trick like they used to.
Yeah, no.
Economies have changed.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
There's a shift.
I don't know what the girls thought was going on out there. I was like, these men also, like, God, it's such a layered conversation, but it's like, and it's no shade to the girlies that do this, but it's like a lot of these men who are with content creator girlies are working for the content creator girlies. You know what I'm saying?
That
like,
is very true.
It's very rare that they have met this man when he was at his peak. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's him being at his peak because of this woman or like with this woman, you know what I'm saying? And like now their businesses are intertwined, their money's intertwined, like all of these things are kind of intertwined in a certain way. And I think when you're a Black woman, it becomes so hard because when you kind of like break the glass ceiling and there's no limit anymore, it feels almost unrealistic to expect someone to meet you at a place where there's no limit, if that makes sense.
I've been struggling with that tremendously because like we've seen like, and that's what it's always interesting because I recently had a conversation at that same brunch.
Yeah.
Where they were saying how these men were scared to date content creators. Yeah. And I was like, do they know the money that
No, they do know. They do know. And they're very intimidated by it.
It's becoming
yeah,
an issue. And so it is like kind of not taming my expectations, but shifting my expectations of
For sure.
Blake ain't never dating broke. I want to make that clear. And I'm always date generous.
Please learn from me. Don't do it.
Don't date
Don't
broke.
do it.
But
he gonna break your heart.
While trying to humble you.
Okay.
But it is like I am getting more realistic expectations around the profession that the guy that I end up with has. Yeah. And things like I used to be like
even a lawyer, like you're making more money than a lawyer, babe. Like than a doctor most times. Yeah. Like these are real statistics. So it's like, and it's just hard because I don't want the girls to think that it's not possible, but I think it's like adjust the expectations just a little bit. Yeah. Don't give up on the expectations, but just adjust them. Yeah. Like understand that majority of people are not making this type of money. Correct. And even for us, like it can change in a second. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's fickle as hell.
Yeah, like it's very fickle. So it's like just enjoy where you are, but also have a lot of grace for where these people are as well. Like I think as long as this person has good character, you know, ambition, like drive, motivation, they want to keep growing and like becoming, I feel like those are the main pillars that you should focus on rather than focusing on like, can he buy me a Chanel bag today? Like, girl.
Well, I know a lot of girls getting Chanel bags being treated like shit. So I think
that's why I'm like, the Chanel bag don't change the character. It doesn't. That's why I'm like, you have to focus on the character first. Yeah. Because if you don't, then like you're gonna get a man who can buy you a Chanel bag but hates your guts.
That is, and they do hate you.
Or is cheating on you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or is like doing whatever he wants to do. That's why I'm like, I don't know what to tell y'all.
And I want to talk about, you talked about getting like being rooted in reality.
Yeah.
And You've also been very vocal about the severe complications you had with your breast reduction surgery, which so many of us want. I want one. Like so many Black women want breast reduction surgery.
Yeah.
What happened to you is what, 1% of cases?
I think it's like, I actually think it's like 10% potentially.
Okay.
Necrosis is something that can happen within 10% of cases. So it is kind of high, but it's still relatively low. Like if you think about the amount of breast reductions that are happening across the country, like it's very low.
And you told the story of you got home from the surgery, you realized that you were profusely bleeding, and they had to rush you back into a second surgery that same day.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
And then, of course, can you explain kind of what necrosis, like what?
Yeah. So essentially the day of my surgery, everything is fine. We do like our pre-surgery questionnaire with the anesthesiologist, all these things. And I do remember after my surgery, I woke up a little bit jolted. Like I was like,
you felt more awake. Than
yeah, like I felt really like awake, and I was like, and then also like in pain, like in a lot of pain, and because of that, I was moving around a lot on the table, like right after they finished, and I think that caused a bit of a rupture in my right breast, and I didn't realize until we got all the way home. Now, the problem is that I live in Brooklyn,
right, and
my surgeon's office was in Upper East Side.
Correct.
So this is a 45-minute drive at this point. And luckily, I had my best friend with me.
Y'all are locked in.
Yeah,
that's a nurse.
That's literally my sister. That's literally my sister. Because also I wasn't expecting, like we were not expecting that. I thought she was going to be here for a few days. You know what I'm saying? Because like all you really need is just a few days to adjust to like walking and stuff like that after. But then you're good. So we get back to my apartment and I'm like not feeling the best. I'm thinking maybe it's because the anesthesia is still like wearing off. But then like as we're walking in, I'm noticing like I'm bleeding and like there's like blood all over the floor, and I was like, whoa, like it literally looked like I got shot. Like, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? And then like, I think my brain started to register something's happening. So now I'm in pain. And I'm like, oh my God. So we call the surgeon's office. And essentially they think that I had like a rupture because of my movement, all the movement that I did when I first woke up. So at first they thought maybe it would start clotting and like close on its own, but it was bleeding so much, and like my drains were filled with blood. Like everything was just, you couldn't even see anything. So they were like, yeah, you have to come back in like immediately. Like, and they're basically like, please don't eat or drink because like it's gonna maybe affect the surgery a little bit. But I had already eaten a little something because I was so hungry. Right. So by the time we get back to the surgeon's office, it's another like hour, basically 2 hours on the road. And they immediately put me back under, they fix it. And he had asked me, I remember my surgeon asked me all these questions like, you know, do you take blood thinners? Like, were you taking like a bunch of vitamin C? Like, cause he just wasn't, yeah, he was just like so confused as to what just happened. And I was like, no, I honestly don't know what just happened. I've never had a major surgery, so I actually don't know. So, you know, we're thinking everything's fine. And a few weeks, I want to say maybe a week and a half later, I'm still bandaged up so I can't see anything. But I just noticed that my nipple area was a little softer than normal. And I was like, I feel like something's wrong. So I asked them if I can come in to like see underneath the bandages. And they say, yeah. So we take off the bandages and it was just all soft tissue. So they were like, oh, snap. Like you're experiencing necrosis, and actually a lot earlier than expected. Like usually this is something that would happen maybe 2 weeks into a healing process. Or if it were to happen, it would happen like very quickly. It's either going to happen very quickly or like a little delayed. So at that point I was like, of course, amazing. So,
did you in that moment?
Yeah.
Did it register to you? Were you more concerned with your health, or just as women, we are
Yeah.
You frequently think about vanity. Did you freak out at the thought of like, holy shit, like I've lost a
You know why?
nipple?
You know why I didn't? Well, because I hadn't lost a nipple yet. It was like soft tissue, but he was really trying to save it. Like he was like, because basically what he was doing, he was hoping that the tissue around the nipple would decay and then like the actual nipple would stay.
Okay.
So he was really going to try to save it. I honestly wasn't thinking about vanity at all because I was so obsessed with the shape.
Y'all, Simi is what's so crazy is like
because you saw them and I was like, girl, I'm sorry, he really ate that up.
Simi has a really pretty titty.
Yeah, like I was like, oh nah, you ate that. So I wasn't even concerned about the vanity because even
he's freaking out and you're looking at the mirror like,
no,
wow.
even him though, when he was like, yo, he was like, the shape is so beautiful, and I was like, it is. Like, you really ate that. I can't even lie. Like, if it weren't for this one little thing, yeah, 10 out of 10, honestly. So basically, after the necrosis got diagnosed and like he realized what was happening, he put me into hyperbaric oxygen therapy sessions. And essentially what that is you go into like this tank and it's just pure oxygen that's kind of being sprayed onto you. You have like an oxygen mask on, so you're breathing in pure oxygen. It has a lot of health benefits, actually. I felt great after doing it. It was great. And it helped delay the necrosis, but it didn't heal it, if that makes sense. It's not meant to, because once necrosis starts, it's like a moldy fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like once it starts, you can't do anything to reverse it. You can only try to stop the process. So that it doesn't keep spreading to other parts of the breast. So essentially we did the therapy sessions and then we also were doing different variations of like ointments and medications to kind of like try to delay it as much as possible. And essentially what was supposed to be a 2-week recovery process, 6-week max recovery process ended up being my entire summer. It was a doozy. It was a doozy. Like I had never experienced anything like that in my life. I never want to experience anything like that in my life. I think I probably will never do another cosmetic surgery again because of that. Even like with the repairing process, like I was so afraid that after everything kind of healed up, I would have to go under the knife again to fix, to do like cosmetic fixes. And I told him, I was like, I don't think I want to do that.
Well,
like
they look great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with them.
I like them. I mean, I think they're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't never had nobody tell me nothing about nothing, okay? So,
and that was my first question. I was like, do you think, and you were like, girl.
No, like I'm like, I think also like, and like, I don't know, maybe it's because I've always kind of been, I don't want to say outside the scope of like desirable, but I think when you're curvy and you're plus size, it's always like expected that you think people will make comments about your body, like when you're intimate with them, or like you think that someone's going to be like weird about your body when you're intimate with them. Nobody cares.
It's so interesting.
They know what you look like.
But it's so interesting that you view yourself like that. Because even me and Melissa all the time, even this, AJ clearly saw you as that. Like, you're like the siren. Like, you exude, like, we are always like, I'm always like, Simi is stunning. And you exude like this aura that's like,
like I don't really care. Yeah, like what's
it's
that?
Me. Like, I was like, God damn it, what do I have to do to like
cracking
give that vibe? Has it registered to you? Like, have you? Probably not always, but has it registered to you though that the way people view you is very different than maybe some ways that you,
Yeah, for sure. I think even recently I've been like, oh, like,
shit.
Yeah, like I be forgetting sometimes. I'm always confident in myself. Like I always think I'm beautiful. I always think I'm gorgeous. But I think so it's really social. It's that damn phone.
It is that damn phone.
It's that damn phone. Okay, because I think social media sometimes will make me think like, oh, okay, like, you know, everything is like super fat phobic now, fascism, all the stuff. So like for me, I'd be like, okay, people don't like fat girls no more. It's fine. But like, I don't care. Like I'm not like looking at it as like oh my God, like I need to like get skinny so someone will like me. I personally don't care. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I know that the pendulum is swinging that way. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, I'm like, oh, whatever. Like I'll just wait till it swings back the other way or whatever. Like I don't really care. But I guess I don't realize that maybe because I'm so internally like unbothered by these things, maybe that's what is
comes
exuding.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exuding the energy.
Yeah.
Because I've never had no problems. Like,
And speaking to real quick to the fat phobia and particularly the fascism, I think what we're seeing right now, especially when we think about the conflict in Gaza and things like that,
yeah,
creators who are scared to say things
Yeah.
and things like that. And of course, you've never been afraid to speak out things like that. How do you feel about these content creators who have decided to take this neutral road in a world that is anything but neutral? Like what we are witnessing right now.
Yeah.
How do you, not the,
because
you got something to say.
Because I actually think it's a very nuanced situation. I think on one hand, I can understand why a Black creator,
Right.
specifically Black, would feel scared to speak out about certain things because we are often the first ones to become martyrs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you are the first one to get exiled. You are the first one to get punished. You will be made an example of, you know, and I think for me, that's why I'm a little empathetic towards that. However, I also think what is for you is always going to be for you. And there's nothing in this world that any man, person, or brand can take away from you that is meant to be yours, you know? So for me, it's like you have to be understanding and willing to sacrifice what is necessary for the greater good. And speaking up about these things is for the greater good, you know? And I also think the more of us that speak up about it, the more protected we can be as a collective, rather than feeling like it's
all of us.
rather than feeling like it's an isolated situation. And, you know, I often do put more of the onus on white and non-Black creators because for me, it's like, I don't think you guys have actually had to sacrifice as much. Yep. I don't think you understand what it means to sacrifice as much. I don't think you understand what it means to have your being itself be political. You know, like who you are at its core is a political being when you're Black. Yeah. So I think for us, it has a completely different meaning than it does for them. And I always do try to put the onus on them to say, hey, like, you know, we're mutuals. I know we're cool. I respect you. I want the best for you. But I do think you should speak up about these things, just like I've spoken up about these things, because it just doesn't feel fair for me to have to sacrifice parts of my career or parts of my public standing and then watch you post these things like in your close friends only. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not.
And you have that is one thing you are not afraid to slide in the DM of an influencer if some weird shit is going on.
No.
Have you been like that since the beginning? Though?
Yeah, I think I'm really not trying. I realized very long ago, I'm just not here to maintain the status quo. Like, I just don't think that is what God has put me on earth to do. So for me, I think it's like, if I have a gut feeling about something, I'm going to follow that gut feeling. I'm going to obviously try to be as demure as possible. I'm never like a conflict starter, if that makes sense. No. I'm more so like a conversation starter.
But you're not conflict averse. Yeah, and I think that's the thing as Black women, they think if we're not conflict averse, then we're conflict starters. No, I'm just not afraid of conflict.
Yeah, no, I'm not afraid of conflict. I think also when you grow up being like dark skinned, plus size, like people will make you the villain anyway. So for me, I'm like, I'm just gonna
be the villain.
Like, right. I'm like, if I'm gonna be the villain anyway, I might as well just say what I want to say. And this is what I want to say. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna try to be as respectful about it as possible. I'm never gonna come to you like on some crazy stuff. Right. But I think for me, it's like, how can I be honest and also maintain this relationship that I have with this person? Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Well, as we kind of wrap up, what is next? Like, what is the goal, right? You know, we talk all the time about like, this is so fickle. This is so crazy. Like all of us are in this place where we're kind of like, we can't be doing this forever. So what is the goal?
I don't know if I know yet. You know, like I think I've been thinking a lot about that. I think for me, something I really do want to get back to is writing. Like, I think I've really strayed away from it for a while. And I really do want to get back into that space, that mindset, being more thoughtful about
All the
how I
girls are
share my
Substacking.
yeah, and I really do love being on Substack, and I feel like I do have a voice in that space. So I think for me that's like a long-term goal, you know. I think right now in terms of goals, I think I just want to be as creative as possible, you know, like I just want to explore all the avenues I can possibly explore while we have the time to explore them. And be as authentic and open about who I am, who I want to be as possible. And also like be willing to make mistakes along the way, you know? Like I think as Black women, we are under this pressure to be perfect all the time, you know? Like a hair can't be out of place, the lace can't be showing, the nails can't be chipped, the toes can't be off. Like, and I think for me, I just want to exist. Like I just want to exist and allow my existence to be the creativity, if that makes sense, you know, and not feel as though I have to show up in a certain way to be liked or accepted, but also not care. I think I've definitely been in the space where I've just been not caring as much, and it's been working out. So I'm like, okay, like I might as well just keep doing this, like, and just keep following my gut feeling about how I want to be creative. So yeah.
Well, the show is, of course, called According to Blake, but today it is According to Simi.
Oh.
So, according to Simi,
yes,
you make content for, like, what is the demographic? Who do you make content for?
Oh, I would say I make content for the unashamed, wild, free, and honest Black woman. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Because even those of us that don't present as that, we have it in us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it doesn't always have to look the same way either. Right. You know, like I think what it means for me to be free doesn't have to mean what it means for you. But I think for me, I always want to encourage people to be free. Like I don't feel as though what society is saying is what you have to follow. Unless like and I'm sure that there's going to be parts of it that feel comfortable to you that you can follow, which is fine, you know? And I think there's parts of it that feel comfortable to me that I do follow, which is fine. But who they tell you to be is not who you have to be. And I think for me, that's who I make content for. Yeah.
According to Simi, your favorite clothing brands to shop are?
Wow. Tough one. Okay, Christopher John Rogers. I have him on right now.
So good. Did you go to the sample sale?
I did. I got this from the sample sale.
I got to show you the dress I got from the sample sale. I didn't go, but I did it through. I'll tell you.
Okay. So Christopher John Rogers, really love him. He is more on the high end. If I want to go like mid-tier, I would probably say like Kai Collective. I feel like she's always on the money with her designs, especially right now. If I want to go like affordable, I would probably say ASOS, Pretty Little Thing.
Okay, so
the rebrand,
there was a lot of discourse around people hating the rebrand, but the girls that I've seen in the rebrand, I've seen a few girls be like, "What are you wearing?" And they're like, "It's a Pretty Little Thing rebrand."
Yeah,
I'm like, maybe it eats more than we thought.
I know. I think the rebrand just came at an bad timing.
It
you know, like
the
it's
trad
like
wife, the sad baby beige.
It was giving a little fascist. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. We're not mad at you because the clothes are really nice. So it's like I think also the rebrand came without a change in quality of the clothes per se. Like the clothes are still made of polyester.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And I think majority of brands at this point in time, polyester, you know?
Yeah.
However, for me, I just think that I am a pick and chooser when it comes to how I shop. I'm never going to go so hard for one brand because I have everything from that brand. Right. It's more so like And this is why I tell people it's very important to build your eye for your personal style. You have to know what you like, because then you will save money and you won't waste time scrolling on all these websites, because you'll know kind of what you're looking to find. But yeah, I really like ASOS, a Pretty Little Thing. Shop Akira has been really having some hitters. Yeah. I'm like, okay, cute. And yeah.
Okay, and last, according to Simi, your comfort creators are?
Ooh, my comfort creators. Oh my God, so many. I would say you. I love you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sis.
like I feel like you are very like homey, but also like yourself, but also like very chic and fab. And I love that. I would say, who else? Tanika. I love Tanika. I feel like Tanika's my girl. And I feel like she reminds me of what's possible while also like still being yourself.
She has a lot of like how you said the thing about like she too never desired to be.
Yeah, that's my girl. Me
and her life just
locked in.
And it became Yeah.
She's also was like a one and doneer kid person, and I was like, yeah, if I ever had a kid, it'd be one and done. Like, and it's only because I love that man.
Right.
Like, and it's gonna be like, if we ever divorce, you taking full custody. Love you though, babe. Okay, but it's
I'll
like,
send money.
Hello, I'll pay that alimony. Like, hello, but you taking full custody. Okay, but yeah, no, like I love Tanika. I think that she is such a good reminder of like what's possible, but also like still being authentically you and not feeling like you have to be like a certain type of archetype. Like, she never comes online on some like, I don't know. She's just never like, here's how I bagged my man who pays for all my bills.
No.
Like, she's very much like, this is my man and he pays my bills. And like, we rich and we have a good time. Yeah. But that's, you know, but it's like,
get out my frame.
Now leave me alone. Right, now leave me alone. So I love that. I love that about her. I feel like I'm having like a hard time saying people off the top of my brain, because like
any creators who are like talkers, like the commentary creators.
Ooh.
I love a commentary creator.
I do love a commentary creator as well. I feel like I love Obio. I feel like he's like a talker, but he mixes like his lifestyle into it, which is really good. But he's a talker, and I feel like he always has something very profound, sometimes silly to say, but it still like hits you where it needs to hit you. I feel like I can't remember this girl's name. I feel so bad. I'm gonna give you the @ so you can put it in the description though.
Okay.
But she talks about politics, and she's also kind of like silly too. But she talks about politics.
Not culture work.
No, I do like culture work too, though. I like culture work too. I also like Cooking Like AG. He's like this. I feel like I want to say he lives in Houston, but he has locks, and he is a very great yapper. I think that he is similar in the sense of that Deontay Kyle.
Yep.
He's not as big as Deontay. Like, he doesn't have a podcast or anything, or at least I don't think, but he, in my opinion, has very good opinions that I feel can be directed to like the younger generation of men. And I really, really like that about him. So Cooking Like AG. I'm trying to think who else. I don't know. Like, I'm like the Ramontes of the world.
I mean,
love
of course.
them.
I mean, I love Frankie Blue.
Oh, Frankie.
He's so
Frankie
funny.
is hilarious. Frankie is hilarious.
I love the funny guys.
Hilarious.
I love it.
Yeah, no, he's really, really funny. I feel like there's another girl that I always see, but I can't remember her name. That's why I'm going to give you her @. But it's hard to remember the usernames, because it's like, it won't be their actual name. So I think that's why I'm like, oh my God, I can't remember. But yeah.
Well, tell the people where they can find you.
Okay. So you can find me on YouTube @with Simi. I'm really trying to make a comeback, like, for real. It's so hard to edit.
I know. I never
I'm like,
started.
It's so hard
vlogs.
to edit. It's crazy. But yeah, @with Simi on YouTube. I would say Substack, my first and last name, so Simi Mahumza. And then on TikTok and Instagram, Simi Moonlight.
All right. Thank you, sister.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This was great. This was amazing.
A yap sesh.
Period.